Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're going to be doing Bob Ross's Serenity, but with the twist. He starts off with a tree. He's already got it painted. I have mine painted, but we're going to do something other than a tree. We're going to do, basically, he does a tree with a river, yada yada. I'm going to do, if I can do it. It'll be interesting to see if I can do it. But I painted a painting a while ago, and it was called The Forgotten Cemetery. And it was in the middle of nowhere. It was covered in snow. And again, I just put the headstones in because there was just too much room left, and I thought that it would be, it'd be cool to draw headstones. It wasn't too hard to draw headstones. But today I'm going to draw, it's going to differ slightly in color and everything else, really. But I'm still going to follow the same kind of formulae that he's got going on. This is, again, 16 by 20, as always. It's black gesso. I let it dry completely, and on top of that, he's got crimson in this area with the tree which he messes with. I have the entire canvas covered in Thalo Green, because when I go through this, I'm going to highlight this area because that's where I want my light to be, but I'm just going to try and paint some ghostly fog, like a mist throughout the whole thing, so that I don't have to do that when I'm adding layers. Like, I don't want to, because it's really hard to add layers or to add fog and stuff over things that you've painted, because if you do it just rough enough, like if I drew a tree or a headstone or a rock and I'm trying to blend in the mist, I'm splashing bits of whatever layer is there, like a rock or something, outward. And so in some of my paintings, you'll see like a little splat. Like, it's hard to tell, but it's there. So I'm going to do the mist first, and then I'm going to paint over the mist with all the stuff. That way, it's it's not as difficult as scrubbing into a dry canvas, which I have done this season. That was not fun, but I enjoyed the experience. Anyway, so Thalo Green, I'm going to do a highlight and then draw a bunch of headstones. But the main, where he has a tree, I'm going to try to draw a weeping angel statue. So at first I wanted to have really sprawled out wings, but it's morning, so it's probably going to be folded in like spider legs, and there's not going to be much detail to it because of course it's a dark area, so the most light would be on the back, which we don't see. So all the headstones are going to have some sort of faint shimmer to them, and there's not going to be a river, it'll just be land. So again, it's going to be similar to what Bob is doing, but it's going to be Noir style. So let's get to it. I have Bob on standby, just in case I need him, which I probably will. Okay. So I want my light source to be right here. A lot of people associate red with spooky things, and it's so generic to me, but green to me, green is like an unassuming spookiness, because green, you don't know if it's malevolent, you don't know if it's good, which I think is malevolent, I have no idea, but red is just like, okay, it's evil. You know. It's scary because it's unknown, you don't know, I'm talking as a paranormal fan. The fear of the unknown is the greatest fear there is. When it's green, it's like, what movie does that? I think it's Insidious, when he's in the other world, or Upside Down, or whatever the hell it's called. The Other. Or no, The Further. I was going to get there eventually. So many different movies called so many different things. But in The Further, when he's in there, I think, watch the movie. The coloring that they did for each scene, I do believe, is green. Because they want to leave you in suspense. They don't want you to think, oh, you know, if it's red, oh, like I think they call it the red lipstick face demon. I mean, you can't get any more weirdly spooky, but not too entirely sinister. The damn thing's wearing lipstick. That thing, that dude's, that entity's layer is red. Basically, what I'm trying to say here is that's why I chose green, because I want it to be very spooky, but unassuming. Because red is just in your face, you know? I don't go for that. I mean, if I really want, I've done paintings this season that are red and spooky, but at a certain point, well, this season has just been about trying new things and just pushing myself. If you hear any growls, that's not my stomach, that's my dog. Normally she's out of the room, but she refused to leave. At some point she may get a cameo. But she's really upset because my attention is on the painting and not her. Alright. Clean this real quick. Because the blender brush is going to be... This thing is so out of shape. It's got bristles falling out. The handlebar's half gone. Not the handlebar, but the coating on it. This thing wiggle jiggles. I don't know if you can see that. That's what happens when you're owned by Nick Noir. you can beat the hell. Alright. I just wanted to blend this a bit. So I want a ghostly shine. Ooh. Yeah, look at that. And the reason I'm using this and not my normal brush, when I first started Beauty and Darkness, I used the 2-inch brush. I think it's what it's called. And I didn't realize that there was a 1-inch brush because for what I do, the 2-inch is too damn big. Because I was just painting too smallest areas for the 2-inch, so I went to 1-inch and I've never looked back. But the 1-inch bristles get really they wear out. So I use this to do what the 1-inch would normally do. But the bristles are worn to hell, so I have another 1-inch brush. I just until these things fall off and I'm having to like just wood my way around. I don't see a point in getting a needle. I'm just talking. You can mute me at any time you want. Alright. We need a bigger light source. If my easel stays put, I think this thing's about to fly off. Fly off the handles! Even when you watch Bob Ross go, ah, his easel's going nowhere. I do it, my easel's trying to run away. Again, the really thing I'm going to use the blender brush for is this fog, this ghostly phantom mist. Only reason I'm using it for this. But I'm making sure that my misty light source is spot on before I start. I'll make this less the giant blot and more just a fog. There we go. There we go. I'm gonna clean off my brush. It's got all the white on it. That's good enough because I am gonna paint land and stuff. It doesn't need to be too hardcore looking. Okay, let me just play this real quick because if I don't play, it's gonna it's gonna go to sleep and then hit 12 commercials. So I always gotta remember to keep it awake. Alright. Now the thing is, now I'm going to paint I was going to do the brush, but I'm not doing that just yet. I want to do the angel so that when I do the brush, it pushes the angel back into the background. How much time do I got left? Okay. So, on the canvas, let's attempt it. A weeping angel. I'm going to use black, midnight black. So he's got the tree right here. I'm not doing a tree, I'm doing an angel. So I'm going to draw the head. Get some shoulders, some weeping shoulders there, burying it. And how would that look? I was going to print off a picture of this, but like I said, these things are going to be so dark and there's going to be so little light on them. The detail's not going to matter, but the general gist. This is the wing. Okay. Get some more liquid or paint there. Alright. I painted headstones many times. Especially with my scary stories. I call them scary storyscapes. And I call, of course, my horror paintings horrorscapes. Of course, you gotta be careful how you say it too, because they're gonna look at you like you're nuts. What the hell's a horrorscape? But I've never painted something like this before. I don't even know how would the wings be bent at the bottom? In case you're painting along with me, or just watching for kicks and giggles. I'm talking out loud. Let's see here. I'm just drawing a rough outline, so kind of the general idea. I mean, the thing is, you can always expand on your idea, but for the most part, it's really hard to scale down. Like if you were to do a small mountain, you could always paint over it and paint it larger. You know, it's not a biggie. But if you were to paint a large mountain and want it smaller, you basically have to start over. Scrape it, whatever you have to do. So I like to start small, and if I have to, I'll expand. Okay, so now we gotta, there we are. Okay, we're not gonna, again, it's not gonna be too bloody fancy, but before we do the outside gonna paint the inside black. This is what I do with scary stories. This is exactly why this brush is so beat up. And scary stories takes me, actually it takes me about the same amount, but if I have to do the entire painting with a script liner brush like this, it can take much longer than a naturescape. So I'm just going to draw well, let me say this. I'm going to paint this entire thing black and paint some detail, but it'll be in like gray hues and whatnot. Like where the wings fold, so it's not all just one big black clunk of whatever. And then, because I mean, from here on smooth sailing, I just do that, add some brush, grass, some headstones. Maybe I'll throw in a ghost. Who knows? You never know. You never know. course, I may leave it like this. I don't know. Sometimes I smooth out. I could use any other brush, but I want to make the wings too messy. Alright. Let's make the wings a bit bigger. Like I said, you can always add. But it's like the devil to take away. I didn't want to spend the whole episode on this. I thought this would be a bit quicker, but like I said, this is probably going to be the longest part of it because of just the... It's not even a lot of detail. It's just a lot of little spaces. And the fact that in just a second, I'm going to have to... I mean, this is almost identical to how I paint scary stories. I gotta like make sure there's a separator. So it's not one big blot. Just drawing some gray areas around my wings. Yeah, I said wings. Make a joke. Alright. Now I'm going to fill in all the blanks. pretty up all my areas here. So there's no background showing through. Like some lazy painter trying to get through this in record time. All right. Oh. Again, this is gonna be pretty because I'm gonna draw grass and all sorts of hippie little doodad things. All right, so what boss is doing is drawing some. Oh, before I draw. Keep saying draw. I don't draw, which is weird. Before I paint, I'm gonna do some quick little trees in the background here. My brush is not wanting to cooperate. Nothing fancy, because on the surrounding it, we're gonna. I don't know. What color should we surround it? Because he's got. Fine. Let's just do. He's got. You know, I was trying to think because he's got, you know, this color. He's got a crimson light source, and he's got crimson. I guess we'll try green. Let's try the phantom green. Might need more. I think I'm running out of that stuff. Never use it. All right. Let me try black. And green. And if this brush wants to keep acting stupid, I'm going to use something else. Yep, I'm going to use something else. That brush is so worn out. Alright, let's try green again. And black. Green and black. There we go. See, I'm just pushing that angel back there, so it's not going to have a great deal of detail anyway. And it's just meant to be there. It's dark, of course. It's gotta be C. Play a little bit of this episode. Just a little bit. Yeah, so before he gets too crazy with it, before we get too crazy with it, let's add one fun little thing. That's good enough. Now, before I get too far along, let me at least make sure that these trees have some branches. And draw some phantom limbs out here that just kind of, you know, are. I'm not going to draw them all splattered. Like my freaking painter, or my painter, Jesus. I need to go to bed. Like my brush. And there you are. Sometimes no matter how much paint I put on a brush, no matter how thin I get the paint, my brush likes to shout at me and tell me what to do instead of the other way around. It is a very bossy brush. Okay. So this is what Bob's doing. He's painting some. Now we are gonna go in here. Put in some black vegetation. Cover up those messy branches that we just put in because my brush wanted to be a butthead. That also allows us to push back these white trees, give it some real depth. You hear that? You got your cameo. She's fussy. It's past her bedtime. Alright. We're just beating around a few bushes because, of course, we're painting a different kind of scenery. While he's doing that, let me just real quick, I'm gonna give some of this a more plant-like appearance since my brush wants to be flat like a pancake. Not so, make sure this is on the canvas. Oh, yeah. There we go. Because when you got a healthy brush, it paints exactly the way it should. When the bristles are just not having a day, things cannot or will not go your way. Alright, just for good measure, drum roll, I'm gonna take some dark sienna, some titanium white, and make it dark, not so bright. I didn't mean to rhyme. Neither did that. Put some colored branches. There you are. Some more depth. There we are. Make sure it's at least somewhat white. There we are. You know what? I'm going to follow what Bob does a little bit in this instance. Just because. So I'm going to take some, well, you know what? Yeah. I'm going to take some green, some white. I don't want it too bright, but I want some of this vegetation, since it's near our light source, to be some more titanium white in a minute here. For now, would look good. There's our greenies. There's our greenies. Instead of just putting it everywhere, just messily, I'm going to put some landscape. So I'm going to make sure this has some land to it. Some yellow ochre down here. Again, while you're putting down the grass, you want to shape the lay of the land. You know, I'm going to make this depressing as hell. Are you ready for it? Didn't have this planned, but I'm doing it now. So let's have some of this be water, and some of the headstones be submerged. Why? Who knows? Some graveyards, if you've ever seen them, are just lost in time. Put some, no, that'll be fine. Alright. Let's draw a little, there we go with the draw again. Let's draw a little tombstone. And just a teensy highlight. Okay. And you know what? That's the problem with having bristles that go away. As soon as you're trying to dry it out, you're just smacking the handle. Alright, let's put on some, let's put some, there we go. Just a little bit of white. this is only as difficult as it looks because my brush is shot. Normally this usually just slides right on down. It looks good. I guess I should switch brushes. Pick the new one. Let's do half one. Let's do one that's right here. Maybe a little. Little crucifix peeking out over here just for fun. Let's try a little shadow of this. Let's try some Cad. I said we're gonna do a ghost, right? This one right here. That's fine. So now what we're gonna do is just Bob is done. And we are too. We are almost there. I wasn't going to do a ghost, but that was just too good to pass up. I guess just for kicks, we'll do like a... Oh, there's too much paint on here. There's like a grave, so no one knows what to make of that shadow. Now I'm just using all the dark colors that I still have left to make my tree here. That's why I wasn't too worried about detailing the angel or whatever the hell it is, because you're not going to see it anyway. Now the only question is, what color do I want this tree to be? Just make it. Huh. Alright guys, I think this will about do it for today. Say my name and that's it. Hopefully that's all clean footage. Alright guys, I want to thank you for, well, not even frame. I want to thank you for joining me on this episode, and until next time, blessed be.